Starting.
Hello, and welcome to Swanky Paint Updates. It's been a long time since we've seen you last. I think we've had 2 versions that's gone by without any updating. So, we've got quite a bit to cover today.
Actually, it's not that much.
Okay, it's not that much. But it's still progress. And if you're watching this right now, it means we've released Swanky Paint on Steam! Hooray! So, thanks for tuning in. We are now at Alpha+9a, which is version 16.x. And the previous version is Alpha+9, which is version 15.953. And
These are all very interesting numbers. I'm very glad you're just reading them out.
We shall start with the stuff from Alpha 9, I think. The first of which is smart centering of zoomed window using occlusion of preview window.
Do you know what that means?
Do we?
It's this thing over here. So when you move this little, what's that? There's some sort of hand gestures
in the
going on over there. So it sort of works out if it's like to the right or if it's to below, and then it sort of centers the actual thing you're drawing. So before it just sort of was always to one side or the other, but now depending on how much of it you're covering, it's sort of doing that. So it's just it's however you position your preview window sort of changes how the center of the screen is considered.
It's relative to...
Yeah, so if it thinks it's like to the side, then that happens. If it thinks it's underneath, then that happens.
Yeah. So, it depends on your preference. I kind of like my preview window in the middle.
In the middle?
Yeah, to the right in the middle. So it's strange. Some people like it top left, some people prefer it top right.
Just go like that.
Yeah, I do like.
That's the sort of the depaint style. Was like it was just sort of split like that.
Half.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you could sort of push it to the left or to the right.
I see. Right. So that's the first one. The next one is switch to SDL2 as default input window manager.
That's not really anything particularly interesting. It's just like low-level code changes. So I'm using SDL2 as the main library rather than...
What was it previously?
I was just using my own stuff.
Okay, so why did you change to SDL2 instead?
SDL2 is probably a bit more stable than my stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it's the same used across all the systems. So it's
okay.
exactly the same code used across every system now. So Windows, Linux, OS X, native client. No, native client doesn't use native client uses something different to SDL2.
Raspberry Pi?
But the Raspberry Pi uses SDL2,
okay.
And Assemble.js uses SDL2. So everything apart from native client is now just sort of SDL2y.
Right. So, okay, great.
What else?
Alpha+9a, we start with fix home directory sniffing, which got borked in switch to SDL2.
That was a bug, and it is now fixed.
Wonderful.
It is something that I broke by improving everything else.
Okay, added GUI scale option and display main paint area under cropped GUI.
Okay, so that's under the sort of settings here. So there's this like sort of GUI scale which doesn't seem to be doing anything because I told it not to do anything until you sort of go away and come back, because what it does is that.
Ooh.
So those things are all sort of half size now.
I know what that looks.
What?
That looks swanky.
So if you don't want to have like that sort of really big in your face sort of Wii looking menu type stuff.
Yeah, that's really annoying to have the whole menu over your entire drawing.
So yeah, I should
I
probably
this.
So
this
you can
great.
So that's like half the size.
So that's nice.
And it just sort of appears in the center, and you've got this stuff sort of going behind it.
That's fantastic. Oh, that's really cool. Right. Okay. So that's it, right?
That's it. But I like it big, so going back.
Okay. No, I like it the other way around.
Yeah.
I want to see my art.
No, I like the big buttons. Otherwise, I can't. I don't know where many buttons are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. The next one we have, which is updated 3D view widget, so you can move and scale the object badly.
So you're gonna have to load some 3D in here. So let's here's one we prepared earlier. I think we're at 19. Yeah, that one. That looks like a sort of, doesn't it?
Yeah. So could you tell people who are just tuning into the Pixel Paint package to see what's this 3D thing.
It's 3D. It's loaded a DAE file, which is Collada, which is supposed to be like the sort of the standard for 3D files nowadays is
Right.
DAE. So hopefully that's sort of vaguely future-proofed.
Now, these were all generated via Blender, right?
Yeah, that's modeled in Blender.
Okay.
Okay, so I've loaded in the texture here, so you can see that he's actually become slightly better because he's got a texture.
Mm-hmm.
So what did I say I'd done?
You've updated the 3D view widget,
Oh,
so you
right.
can move and scale the object.
So if you hold down the right mouse button, you can sort of move him up and down now. If you use the cursor keys, you can see that
Hello! Oh,
he,
that is so awesome!
he doesn't really exist in that window. He's just pretending to. So right mouse button, you can move him around. And left mouse button, he sort of rotates a
I
bit.
actually kind of like the fact that he can actually zoom out of the window.
And yeah, the mouse wheel zooms in.
That's fantastic.
Zooms him in and out, so you can see what he's doing. At the moment, you notice he doesn't look very textured. That's because is bump mapping on that list after
It's
that?
next, yeah.
So the thing is that what I've added is a sort of bump mapping thing. So what I have is like these two frames. Like one is the color, and the second one is the sort of height map, basically.
Yeah.
So the brighter it is, the more it sticks out. So that these two sort of get combined when you're sort of messing around with them. So now he's got a bit of bumpy texture
Some sort of texture.
as well as the colour, so he looks a bit more like a dinosaur, and he's meant to be like quite small really. He's not meant to be zoomed
It's
in
very
close.
tiny little dino.
Yeah. And I'm not sure why that is so jerky.
Yeah.
It's to do with, well, I'm trying to sort of keep the mouse centered, so I'm resetting the mouse.
Ah.
It works okay on OS X and Linux.
No, Windows.
Doesn't seem too happy on the Windows.
Mm.
Yeah, looks like it's a bit unhappy. But it still works, it's just a bit sort of strange and jerky.
Mm.
Oh well, I'll have a look at that later.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so that was added 3D bump mapping. Second frame of texture is optional height map.
Yep, so that's the second frame is your sort of height map. So
Wonderful.
first frame color,
It'll
second
be
frame.
fun to just experiment with that and see how things look. It's very simplified.
It's most of this is me sort of arranging my texture well. So what I've done when texturing and building the UV map is every single quad in the model is like one 8x8 on the screen.
Okay.
If you see what I mean. So if I click those to grids,
Yeah,
so
2G. Yeah.
so that one square there is like one quad on his little belly
Okay.
going down. So you can.
So wouldn't you change some of the colors so that it appears on Little Dino?
Oh, you can see that's down.
Oh, there you go. So it's live preview.
Yeah. So he's actually got
Just
his
in case
arms
you're
there.
wondering, yeah.
So yeah.
Great.
So you
It
can
looks
see
like
that
he's
he's
wearing a
been.
t-shirt.
So this goes down to his tail basically. So it goes along. And as you can see that the pixels are like, I'm not trying to keep the pixels just the right size. I'm just mapping chunks of 8x8s to a single quad. And the quads get kind of dense near the tip of his tail, and they're a bit fatter near his belly.
Yeah. So it just gets stretched out.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally, we have added 3D sliders to control lighting in preview.
Oh, yeah, those are quite useful. So there's this like opt thing up here. So 3D on and off, that's a useful one.
Very.
How much light? So you can see how much the light is sort of added.
Fantastic, yeah.
And this one is how much he's shadowed. So if you turn off the light and the shadow, it's as if it's like a matte. So it's just the colours you've drawn.
That's cool.
So you can decide how much sort of bright shininess and how much darkness you're getting in the preview, and of course the bumpiness.
So this is just purely for preview, yeah?
Yeah, this is just previewing the model,
Okay.
so you can sort of.
If only 3D applications were that simple, where you can just go to bumpiness and darkness and lightness.
Well, it's just I've made a sort of a simplified lighting thing
That's
for the
great,
preview.
yeah.
So this bit is how sort of the highlights, and this is the lowlights basically.
And it's just from right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So highlights, low lights, and it's just the angle.
I was wondering, just from one angle, isn't it?
Yeah. So the light is sort of coming in from top left mostly, and then the darkness is sort of coming up from the bottom.
Mm. Just so you know, this is Mika, who is the icon for our game cake, which is our game engine. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is Game Cake's dragon
Mascot dragon thing.
Something.
Yeah. Anyways,
You see the bumpiness there.
I like the bumpiness.
No bumpy bumpy, no bumpy bumpy, no bumpy bumpy, no bumpy bumpy.
And there you go. These are all that you've added.
This is
That's
yes,
great.
that's
I
what
like
I've
that
done.
look.
So I mean, you know, it's just a few things.
Hello. It's fantastic. And thanks again for listening in, and hope you enjoy all those updates for Swanky Paint Alpha+9a. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, just some small changes.
Small changes for Alpha+9b. And enjoy Swanky Paint. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.